FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
In many foreign policy areas, there's a continuation. But in torture, it's obviously not. They've had a clear reversal. And I'm actually pretty well informed on how they think about this torture issue. They felt they had to release the documents for legal reasons. Obama wanted to. Many other people did not want to. And their view was that once you release the documents, you'll set off a firestorm that we will not be able to control. And that has indeed been the case. It is a firm commitment of the administration, a firm desire to not have prosecutions. And their view is that once you have prosecutions, it won't just be about torture, it'll be about the Iraq War, it'll be about everything. You'll spend a year relitigating the last 7. And this is the interesting part of their relationship with the left, which is they are not people of the left. They're Democrats, but they're not people of the left, even Obama, I think. And they have a high impatience with some of the causes that most animate people more on the left, and I'm oversimplifying here on torture, which offends people in all walks, but this is how they see it, and so they're trying to damp down this issue so they can move on. And I personally think that's the right thing to do. I think he's got bigger problems in foreign affairs. I think Pakistan is, I'm a big supporter of the Afghan policy, which is extremely ambitious in the Obama manner, but if Pakistan refuses to police their border, then Afghanistan will fall apart. The Iran policy is so unformed, it's unbelievable. They just don't know what to do about Iran. And so I think they're intelligently saying, let's focus on that, let's have our fights about that, let's not relitigate the Iraq War. But they are now being swept along for a period of time in the anger about torture.
And on the domestic, on all of the surveillance issues, on all the secrecy issues that had been put into place by the Bush administration as what had been justified by them as some necessary measures, and former Vice President Cheney has been saying this within the context of the torture memos as well, as we kept the United States safe. But is there a problem for the Obama administration, particularly within the Democratic Party, over trying to walk on this knife's edge of trying to, on the one hand, say we're not going to do this anymore, but on the other hand, saying that we're going to continue doing some of these other things that the base of that party are just simply not going to be supportive of?
It's a very tricky situation, and I think one of the interesting things to me is that Barack Obama, who would never ever have become president if it hadn't been for his anti-war speech in Chicago, these many years ago, is actually right smack in the center of sort of traditional moderate centrist foreign policy-ness in this country. Everybody forget, how completely radical the shift was during the Bush administration, and he's basically just taken it back to that middle course, and I think he's got some incredibly smart people working for him there, and he doesn't have an Iran policy because his basic argument during the campaign was that we're going to go back to diplomacy, which is a no-brainer. But there is a problem with once you go back to diplomacy, it's still the same people who are out there and they're very hard to deal with. He's got a terrible problem with all of the domestic anti-terrorist stuff in that there are people who were picked up during the Bush administration who are really, really bad, who have been handled in such a way by the previous administration that there's no way you can try them anymore. And they don't know what they're going to do with them. I don't know what they're going to do with them. They're hoping France has volunteered to take one. I think that was great, but it's a very...
They're going to make him a waiter.
Yeah. It's a really tricky problem. I don't know what he does about some of these things, but I was surprised that he kind of backed away during that press conference the other day from his general, we're not going to go there, we're not going to go there kind of stance.